Good morning, everybody. Welcome back for story time. Today, I have a very special book to share with you. It's our very first Passover book, Sammy the Spider's first Passover. When we start a holiday, I really love to start with Sammy the Spider. I think it's a great jumping off point for any holiday, especially Passover. Passover has so many different elements and moving parts, but the main thing to remember is all the traditions and rituals and the importance of passing on the story to our future family members so they can pass it on to their generations and so on and so forth. So this is a great starting point to read Sammy the Spider's first Passover. Sammy the Spider's First Passover, written by Sylvia A. Rouss, illustrated by Katherine Janus Kahn. And this is a book of shapes. Sammy the Spider was fast asleep in his web, high up on the Shapiro's living room ceiling. As the warm spring sun shone through the open window, Sammy snuggled deep into his cozy web. A sudden swishing noise startled him awake. "Mother!" he screamed. "A monster has broken our web!" Sammy scurried across the ceiling and hid in a corner. Mr. Spider hurried to comfort him. Mrs. Spider hurried to comfort him. "Don't worry, Sammy. That monster is called a broom, and Mr. Shapiro is using it to dust the ceiling." Each spring, the Shapiros give their house a special cleaning to prepare for Passover. Springtime is a perfect time for us to make a new web. "I don't know how to make a web," Sammy said sadly. "I'm going to teach you," said his mother, giving him a big hug. Will we celebrate Passover too?" asked Sammy. "Silly little Sammy," laughed Mrs. Spider. "Spiders don't celebrate Passover. Spiders spin webs." We begin by spinning one thread. Then we spin a second and a third. Finally, we spin a fourth to make a square. But Sammy wasn't listening. "What is Mr. Shapiro putting on the table?" he asked. "That's called matzah," Mrs. Spider replied. "Tonight is the first night of Passover. And the Shapiros will have a special meal called a Seder." Then Mr. Shapiro bought a big plate with a roasted egg, a bone, parsley, haroset, and bitter herbs. "That's called a Seder plate," Mrs. Spider explained. "The Shapiros will eat special food at their Seder." "Do spiders eat special food for Passover?" asked Sammy. "Silly little Sammy," answered his mother. "Spiders don't celebrate Passover. Spiders eat flies and other insects. To catch them, we spin a web, and I need your help. Watch me attach a circle to the inside of our web." Oh, kind of hard following on the computer. But Sammy wasn't listening. He was hovering on a silky strand above the table, watching the Shapiros at their Seder. "Crunch!" went the matzah as Mr. Shapiro broke it in half. Sammy watched him wrap one broken piece in a bright red napkin. When Josh wasn't looking, Mr. Shapiro hid it on the top of a bookcase. Sammy climbed back into the ceiling. "Mother," he asked, "why did Mr. Shapiro hide the matzah?" "It's called the afikomen," Mrs. Spider answered. "After the meal, Josh will try to find it, and if he does, he'll get a prize." Who's going to find the afikomen in your house?
Me?
You? Maybe Avery.
Why?
"What fun," Sammy said. "Can I play too?" "Silly little Sammy," said his mother. "Spiders don't celebrate Passover.
What's that?
Spiders spin webs.
I know.
And I really need your help to spin a triangle inside the circle. Here's our circle,
I know Sammy Spider.
and here is our triangle."
I know Sammy Spider.
But Sammy wasn't listening. He looked longingly at the hidden afikoman. "All right," sighed Mrs. Spider. "You may watch the Seder for a while." Sammy quickly crossed the ceiling and stopped right above the bookshelf as Josh finished reciting the 4 questions. He listened as the family sang Passover songs and took turns reading the story of Moses, who led the Jews to freedom. The Shapiros began their Seder meal. Sammy had never seen so much food. And here's the beautiful Seder plate.
Can I see? Wow, that's so pretty.
At last, it was time to search for the afikoman. Sammy wished he could help, but he remembered his mother's words. Spiders don't celebrate Passover. And there's Josh looking all over the house for that afikoman. Do you see it? Swinging from a strand of webbing, he watched as Josh searched every corner of the room. When Josh neared the bookshelf, Sammy got excited. Something shiny caught Josh's eye. It was amazing. It was an amazing little web with a beautiful Jewish star inside. "Wow," breathed Josh. As he went closer to look, he spotted the afikoman just below the glistening web. "I found it," he squealed. "Wow!" Look at those shapes. You see the Jewish star?
Ooh, I just saw it.
It's a triangle here, right? And a triangle.
It has 3 sides.
Yeah, right.
Right, kids?
Thanks. Sammy glowed with pride. "I did it, Mother. I helped Josh find the afikoman." "And you also spun a beautiful web," said Mrs. Spider. "You used all the shapes I taught you." In his excitement, Sammy didn't even know that he had spun a web. As he looked back at the bookshelf, he beamed. "It was easy, Mother. You made a square, a circle, and a triangle. Then you pass over with another triangle. That's how spiders celebrate Passover." The end. Like I said, I love Sammy the Spider books. And we'll talk more about those elements that Sammy had mentioned in his story later at a different time. I hope you guys enjoyed that. See you soon.